Hi, my name is David Clark and I'm president of International Video Projects. Back in 1991, my friend Gordon Stevens here and I were brought out to this place, which is the Watson Place in the western edge of the Everglades of the 10,000 Islands. And the fellow that brought us out here was an unforgettable character named Totch Brown.
Over the course of the next couple of years, Totch took us all over this wild country that he really loved so much, sharing his life experiences with us and our cameras. And the result was 2 videos, Tales of the Everglades and Yesterday's Everglades.
In a place like Chokoloskee Island, where Totch spent most of his life, there are only a few things a man could do: trapping, crabbing, fishing, guiding, and Totch had tried them all, and sometimes not always on the right side of the law.
The video you're about to see we've called The Everglades Outlaw. Totch Brown always spoke openly about his illegal activities, which were never inspired by greed or the prospect of easy money. He simply did what he had to do, what he had always done, to support his family.
Some of the things that Totch Brown told us, especially about the smuggling, were not included in the first 2 videos, and we honored his request not to air this until he had passed away. Unfortunately, we lost our friend Totch Brown in May of 1996 while he was building a more permanent cabin on his riding island near Chokoloskee.
We were privileged to have known Totch and to have captured his down-home eloquence on video, as he did his part to keep the history of the 10,000 Islands alive. Here now, the rest of Totch's story, the Everglades Outlaw. The 10,000 Islands region, where the vast Everglades of southern Florida meets the Gulf of Mexico, does not appear to have changed in a century. It was, and is, wild country, and at the turn of the century was a true frontier. From the air, they all look alike. Beneath the mangrove canopy, however, many of the islands are shell mounds built by Calusa Indians. The largest of them became Chokoloskee Island, and this is where Totch Brown was born in 1920. His first name was Loren, but he was known as Totch from an early age. Totch's great-grandfather had arrived here in 1890, his grandfather McKinney in 1896. In this region of broad bays, tiny creeks, and pristine rivers, they and those who followed made their homes and scratched out livings. With very few exceptions, they considered themselves law-abiding citizens. But at the turn of the century and beyond, the law was usually days away by boat in Fort Myers or Key West. Faced with a choice between feeding a family and breaking the law, few thought twice about temporarily crossing the line.
Yeah, I guess we were just old smugglers. Started back with plume bird hunting days when the feathers were in style around 1900. And alligators smuggling, and then rum running days. They run rum and prohibition over from Bahamas.
Totch learned early about crossing the line in the name of survival. Along about 1930, deep in the 10,000 Islands in what is now Everglades National Park, Totch's dad, John Brown, set up a whiskey still. The foundation for the still remains intact. And while making the video, Yesterday's Everglades, Totch recreated a non-working model of the still.
Well, this is the original foundation that Dad put here 60-some years ago to make the shine on. This isn't the old still that was here. This is one I made up. But we went through the motion exactly as it goes on. And around here is where we lived. We finally got far enough ahead, Dad did, to put up a little tar paper shack. And you can see the post in the mud. I'll get out here and point them out a little. See one post here, one right here, and then one on over. This is 14 foot long. It was down in the mud a little bit. I pulled it up just a little. You can see the old boards jammed into the mud from the building. And there's more posts there. The stringers run right on up here. It was 8 by 14. It was the first roof we had over our head for about 2 or 3 years, starting in 30 in the Depression. And we were making the shine here while we were here. We're looking at beer here. We called it Buck. We made moonshine. You first set sugar, corn, and water, equal parts. It fermentates about a week and then stops, and then you pour it into the boiler and boil it.